Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill. Exciting news! The very first Soviet premium heavy tank in the game. We did not had any of those whatsoever, and now you have a chance to bid for it and to get one for yourself. Absolutely novelty in the game. We never had those. When we have this out of the way, I do not know how much it will cost. I know it is going to be for gold, right? I know there is going to be 20,000 units, and I know tank on the paper is looking like a pile of kaku. Skill? Talk me through. What do you mean? You see this roof. Skill, we cannot see the roof, okay? I apologize. You see this roof over there, right? So if you are playing with the same high tank or even taller tank, all of this is auto penetration if you have 91 millimeters caliber plus. So if you are aiming here, you will always penetrate this tank, which is hashtag never lucky. Keep this in mind. Now, if you are facing this tank frontally, it shouldn't be a big problem, to be completely honest with you. Also, lower plate is 186 millimeters thickness, so it's not too crazy or something. But what this tank is good at, this tank is good at side scrapping, as you can see yourself. And even if someone will load the gold, it's not going to be that easy to penetrate this vehicle, right? This is where this tank might shine. Side scrapping, maybe even overside scrapping. Oh, yo, papa. Maybe even overside scrapping. So it feels like it is in a way like T-22 medium, right? So you can bait people, you can peek frontally even like this, right? And try to bait people to shoot you into the lower plate. Obviously, if we are speaking about the lower tiers, right? If you are meeting someone, let's say, higher tier, and if it happened to be the gentleman loaded gold ammunition, unlucky, oi, unlucky. But other than that, it is pretty decent side scrapper, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, look at this. It is not that easy to penetrate this vehicle by any shape or any form. This is going to be quite an interesting tank, but keep in mind, if you know this tip, shoot the turret, you are going to be fine. Load the gold and shoot the turret, you are going to be triple fine. So yeah, I don't think it is going to be broken tank. Now, when we have this out of the way, this is very important, right? Now we are going to test out this tank while playing with it. I can tell you from the gun stats, it looks like tank made in China. No offense, fellas, I am just saying, right? I think the gun might be just as bad as IS-5 gun is. I'm not entirely sure. I still haven't played a single game, but now we are going to see the first impressions, right? For the setup, for testing purposes, I am running ventilation rammer and improved aiming unit to see the gun accuracy, and after that I'm running the secondary setup in the city maps, hardening, turbo and rammer, just to see how it will look like. Now, Skill, I have a question. Why are you running turbo on this tank? Well, it happened to be the tank is going 30 kilometers per hour speed. What that means? That means it's slow, okay? It is properly slow. So without further ado, let's teleport into the game with this tank and let's see what this puppy can do. Beautiful armor. Let's see, will people figure out how to play against me without knowing how to play against me, because this tank is a new one and no one knows. So let's check it out. Okay, let's see what K-2 can do. I tested this tank out already. I played one game to see will people understand where to penetrate this vehicle. I met TVP Watau. TVP Watau spanked me into the upper, into the pretty much cupolas or the forehead, however you would call this, and it was dreadful. I took one for the team and I couldn't do absolutely anything, just to say that, right? So I figured out the biggest selling point of this tank is side scrapping abilities. Skill, I have a question, how you can side scrap in the map like this? Yeah, that is a good question, fellas. This is not the tank to play hold down. It is quite complicated to play with the tanks whenever your selling point is only armor and side-scrapping abilities, right? This is very, very complicated way to do the things, right? And yeah, unfortunate, but that's what we have with this vehicle. Obviously, we will be calm, we will relax, and we will take it easy. But once again, from what I noticed, the tank armor-wise when you are side-scrapping is good. Whenever you are playing hold down, it's dreadful. Keep this in mind. So the maps like this, whenever you highly rely on playing hold down, this is a biggest hassle for the tank, at least in my humble opinion. Now, speaking about the gun, this tank has 390 alpha damage, and this tank has a bit of the derpy gun handling. I do not know, is it IS-5 derpy, but it's definitely derpy gun handling overall, right? Keep this in mind. And at this point, I am just waiting until someone will peek here or something, right? This is what I am waiting for. Skill you are over side-scrapping. Well, this is the main point. To trick people to shoot you into the side whenever they cannot penetrate you, right? Whenever you have a selling point like this of the tank, that's what you need to do, and that's how you need to play the game. You see? You see how the things are looking like? I am just showing the side. Look at this, look at this. Everyone is thinking, easy penetration. This is what we want with this tank. Obviously, until people will see the YouTube videos with this vehicle and until they are going to be educated how to penetrate this tank, right? After that, it might not work to that ability or to that way. But other than that, look at this. This is quite awesome if you are meeting a person who doesn't know what he is doing, right? So once again, this is the highlight of the tank. Look at this overside scrapping. Hi, how are you doing? Nah. Beautiful penetration, very, very nice. Once again, overside scrapping, right? Look at this. He's not penetrating us. Once again, biggest selling point of the tank. I mean, I'm lucky he doesn't know he can penetrate me into the upper turret like there is no tomorrow, right? So, that is a good stuff for us. How about this bzzz? We don't care about the bzzz. How about this Poop. How about the Suka Pershing? He's going down. Excellent. Very, very, very nice. Now, I would definitely not rely on the gun of this tank, okay? I definitely would not rely on this. Just saying, fellas. And I need to highlight this, you know? I cannot promise you, oh, this tank is going to hit absolutely everything. Hell no, it won't. And do not have expectations like this. Meanwhile, there is a Suka Pershing who is trying to be aggressive. We are taking 3 days to aim, and in the end of the day, we are hitting our shot. Very, very nice. Excellent. Meanwhile, Veron is in front, doesn't really matter. Obviously, keep this in mind, I am spamming the full gold here. Skill, you dirty gold spammer. Thank you. Thank you for talking dirty to me. But this is the way to go. What otherwise I can do for a Veron? I can look at him angry. That's all I have. That's all I can do, right? Okay, luckily our team is winning this game. Hip hip hooray. And now we are going to say hello for Mr. Bzzz. Fellas, the fight of the century. Bzzz versus K-2. Who will prevail and who is going to be a winner? That is the question. Bzzz, how are you doing? And Bzzz just got double tapped by our double penetrator. Absolutely amazing and absolutely glorious. Skill, in this game you spammed the full gold. Why would you do something like this? Because I think this is how this tank is going to be played, with all honesty. This is what I think. Look at the armor. I am kind of going sideways, right? Keep this in mind, and that just simply works, and people has no clue how to penetrate it, right? So, this is a novelty to the certain extent and to the certain extent and to the certain level. This is what I need to highlight at this point, right? But once again, remember, you meet this tank in the field. Excuse me, sir, ask permission before touching me like this. If you will meet this tank, shoot the cupolas or the forehead. shoot the forehead, you will be fine. Okay, fellas, what do we have? We have 3.1 thousand damage, 4 kills, 300 assisting damage, and we finish second by experience and first by the damage. Skills a premium tank. How about profits whenever you are spamming gold? Pew, pew, pew. 20,000 profits. Ay, 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 Dios míos, fellas. That's what I can tell you. Okay, that's fair, I guess. Let's go for second, shall we? Okay, we are going with a different build this time. Hardening, turbo, and rammer. I really want to check out how this vehicle will behave and how it will work in the first place, okay? That is very, very important thing to say. So what do we have? What do we have, fellas? First things first, I am not thinking to play hold down here. Skill, why? Because hold down is my weakness. We need to be very, very well aware of our weaknesses, right? If we have, how to say this? If we have weak legs, that means we have weak legs. We need to keep this in mind, right? I'm over side scrapping. That is the whole point. Good. I had a bit of the brain lag. I apologize for this. Happens for the best of us, you know. Okay. Do I want to go against... Ooh, I have an idea. I don't want to play frontally, right? I just do not want to do that. I want to play against the at 50 TP, but I want to overside scrap against him. Let's see. Meanwhile, we have Baza, who is already yelling... beat the living crap out of the René because he's aimbot. Meanwhile, René has extremely good gun handling. But okay. I see, my man. I see. That makes sense. It all makes sense. How are you doing? Enjoying yourself? Good to hear that. Baza is penetration into the lower plate. Yeah, unfortunate. Skill, what can you do about this? I can always try crying and complaining and being sad about this, or I can simply accept my responsibility and say, okay, fair enough, understood. We will learn from our mistakes. Meanwhile, René Cupola. Peek. Nice. Ooh, gun handling. Ay. Fellas, now once again, the best part of all this. Look at this. No one knows how to penetrate this tank at this point, right? So we are just overside scrapping. I would even say I would compare this tank to the certain extent as IS-4, I would say. Look at this beauty, fellas. When people do not know how to penetrate this tank, it actually feels like you would have a humongous amount of the armor, right? Even though this not might be the case, when people will figure out how to penetrate you at this point, right? This is a testing stage for me, for obvious reasons, right? And we can clearly see the armor of this beast is pretty damn solid and pretty impressive. Well, until people will figure this out, but still. Okay. Mr. René is thinking, what is this broken tank? Excusez-moi? I shoot gold and I cannot penetrate it. Progetto, don't mind me if I do. I kind of need to escape here, okay? I would love to escape. Thank you. I appreciate you. Look at this beauty. He is using the reticle, fellas. He is using the reticle. He wants to figure out how to penetrate me. I am enjoying myself, okay? For me, I am feeling... Fellas, I am feeling like a child who is testing the new toys at this point, right? This is how I feel like. By the way, the most of the ammunition which you will need to carry with this tank is going to be gold, in my humble opinion. The main reason why am I saying the gold is the most of the ammunition which you need to have is the gun is extremely inaccurate. And even though 200 penetration doesn't seem like it is horrible amount of penetration, it's far away from being excellent, and it's far away from being, oh, that is okay. It's not okay, especially whenever you are dealing against the heavy tanks. This is not what you want, if you know what I mean. This is not what you want. Although I am thinking about all of this, and people who have a habit to shoot the guy whenever he is going sideways, right? I think they are going to have a bit of the hard time to figure out how to deal with this tank. This is the thing, you know? Well, not a hard time, but you know, sometimes whenever you are used for shooting to the certain places, as an example, I am used to shoot into the side of the vehicles, right? It is taking some time until you are getting used not to shoot where you are getting used to. Doesn't make sense, fellas? So yeah, this is how I feel like about this tank. Okay, what is the best play here? Now, if I'm not mistaken, this Vakash should sit around this area. This would be my guess, right? I think he is going to sit hold down over there. Let's see, am I correct? Over side scrapping angle, good. And hi, how are you doing, mister? I see the side, fellas, I'm very, very well aware of that, but the question is, do I want to go back for a base defense? Because more I think, more I feel like I just do not want to do that, you know? I just feel like I don't want to do that. This is the thing. Oh, Gusor. Look at this beauty. Side scrapping, over side scrapping, over side scrapping, over side scrapping. And game over. Not much what I can do about this. Two guys up front, right? I am down to fartable for pretty much both of them. Unfortunate. Once again, the whole highlight, it is not as much about the score as about to say how to play with this vehicle, and this is a first impressions, right? So, once again, gun handling, useless, at least in my humble opinion, but armor good until people will figure out forehead is the place to penetrate you. Okay, that's what we have, 2,400 damage. Now pay attention at the accuracy, 14 shots fired, 8 direct hits, 6 penetrations. Pretty damn dreadful if you would ask me, but this is what we have and this is what we got, right? So yeah, although positive note, 4,000 blockade damage. For the next game, I think we need to reevaluate our setup, if you know what I mean, and I think it looks a bit better, if you know what I mean. Let's go for a third one and let's go for the best. Okay, fellas, what do we have? We have a tier 9 matchmaking in Glacier. Okay, listen. This is going to be a bit harder, but now we will test out our side scrapping or over side scrapping abilities to the maximum. We will put that to the test while fighting against actually higher tier opponents who has a bigger amount of the penetration. Super Conqueror is sitting at like 300, Yoch is sitting at 300, Progetto at 300, and quickly we can check it out. Versus tier 9. Yes, I'm multitasking, I know, versus tier 9, tier 9, tier 9. Let's say Conqueror. Spamming full gold. Save. Okay, pay attention how the things are looking like here, right? Look at this. Unfortunately, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we can figure out exactly how much we can over side scrap. He can penetrate us here. We need to be very, very careful. He can penetrate us here. So whenever we are side scrapping, we need to side scrap that much not to show the front of the tank, right? So whenever we are side scrapping, we cannot show this. We can show only this, right? Keep this in mind. It is important information. Once again, it is for testing purposes and everything, right? We are testing armor. We know already gun is laughable. We know DPM is kaku, to say that the least, right? And it's far away from being excellent tank in any shape or any form, right? That's what we know already. So, let's see. Meanwhile, our M103 is being super aggressive. Okay. And the gun handling wise, speed wise, gun handling wise, okay, more I think about this, more I think the tank is not going to be worth it. Just because whenever people will figure out how to play against this tank, it's going to be kind of game over for this vehicle. And yes, now you might think, no, but skill, you are bouncing so much damage. It is so good. It is so amazing. It is awesome. Yeah, it is awesome for now, but once again, whenever people will figure out how to play against this tank, all awesomeness are going to go into the garage, you know? It's just simply, you won't be able to do absolutely anything with this tank. This is the thing, right? And once again, now it looks good, it looks amazing, it looks, hey, hip hip hooray, no one can penetrate us, we are feeling great. People will figure out the things, and you can see yourself against the higher tiers, it is going to be even bigger stinky pooper. Now, going like this aggressively is equal for us to signing for bending over and getting, you know, a lot of love, to say that at the least. So what we want to do, we want to escape from here. There is no business for us to do here. We just cannot do anything, fellas. That's the honest truth, right? And unfortunately, it happened to be that our team is being extremely aggressive. Pay attention to the Centurion hit points. He has 1.3 thousand hit points. He's enjoying himself to the maximum. He's getting spotted in the moment. He's considering his life choices. T95 is thinking, should I spank him now or give him a chance, and soon he will evaporate and he will disappear, right? This is how it looks like to me. Do I want to go through the middle? This is the question now. Because more I think about it, more I think I can be useful part by doing this. You know what? We are making pressure like this. Skill, you are crazy going through the middle. Fellas, going through the middle like this is safer than making pressure like this. I can promise you that. It is just safer option. Panther doesn't really matter. Object, Sniper, Schnitzel once again doesn't really matter. And all of our guys who decide to be aggressive, they are just getting spanked at this point. Hey, how are you doing? I'm a bit over side scrapping, that's the whole point. And he is bouncing, you see? At this point, people simply do not know how to penetrate this tank. Obviously, it's not like we can defend ourselves and we can spank enemies for their mistakes either, right? We are far away from that, but just how it goes. Yay, ammo rack, exactly what I want to see. Now, good thing for us, I overside scrap. Look at this overside scrapping. Aha! No, object, how are you doing? Object just fired, that is a good thing. Now we need to figure out how we can say hello for him. We are trying to spank him in the face. Beautiful, very, very nice. Now we need to return back to normal, right? I see this guy looking at us. Overside scrapping, good. Overside scrapping is working very, very well until people figure out how to deal with this tank, right? That's the whole plan, and that's the whole point of this tank. Well, it worked until it didn't. This gun, fellas. The biggest problem of all this is I wonder how reverse side scrapping is looking like with this vehicle. That is the question. Could I escape from this situation? Fellas. Object. Don't you dare to make pressure for me. Luckily for us, Conqueror is not shooting gold. If Johnny Dawn will start spamming gold at us, we are going to feel even worse than we are feeling now. Yeah, Skill, you needed to talk. You needed to talk. You just needed to talk. There wasn't any alternative option. You needed to spam gold, it's going to be bad. You needed to talk, Skill. Thank you. Okay. We need to eliminate this object from the game. I think we should be able to do that. He just fired. That's great. I'm going to go like this. Since he's on the reload, he is panicking a bit. He's panicking quite a bit. Or is he? Such a hard tank. Such a hard tank to deal with. Oi, 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 oi. Okay, Conqueror, how are you doing? Conqueror just fired. 3, 2, 1, bam. Very, very nice. Very nice. Exactly what we need, fellas. Now, Conqueror needs to get eliminated somehow. I see the T-30 moving for a Conqueror. I see CC moving for a Conqueror. And once again, it is a pure struggle for me. You know, I am constantly thinking about angling. Angle, 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 angle. That's all it is happening in my head. Angle, angle, is it the correct angle? It's not correct angle, you know? Am I doing everything properly? And all the time paranoia of enemies shooting over there, you know? That is not a good thing. So skill, that being said, you know, you played with this vehicle a bit, you figured out the main point how to play with this tank, right? How good do you think the tank is going to be? So, my first impressions on this vehicle are... I think the tank is going to be rated either average, either below average on the index page. I think armor will be rated pretty well, but hold down performance is going to be rated absolutely garbage level. And speaking, is it worth to pay the price? Well, you see... In this situation, everything is depending on you. Is it worth it? Someone is buying a Gucci bag for a couple of €1,000 and for them it is worth it. For me, I wouldn't pay €50 for it because it's useless to me. You know, I don't see what is the point of wearing the brand there and there. You get the point what I'm saying. So, for me, I cannot say good things about this tank apart ability to side scrap, right? That is the only one thing what I can say. Okay, it is fine. It's just very bad combination of the things in my humble opinion. IS-4 has way tougher turret, you know, and with IS-4, even though you are over side scrapping, you know, it actually works. And your gun is better with IS-4, and your DPM is better with IS-4. This tank is like getting the side of the IS-4, and then it is feeling relatively alright. Now, I really want to show you reverse side scrapping doesn't work on this tank because ass is very, very wide of this vehicle, right? So, whenever you are over side scrapping against Conqueror as an example, this is what you are getting. Conqueror can penetrate you with a gold. Obviously, if he is not shooting gold, it's way harder, but overall reverse side scrapping, it doesn't look like it is super duper hyper turbo good thing. So all in all, what we know Wargaming is going to sell it for gold, right? We know it is going to be 20,000 units. I honestly think this vehicle is going to be useless in the first month or after first month when people will get frustrated with the gun handling and when people will learn how to penetrate this tank. So whenever you are seeing over side scrapping K-2, you are going to be done, you know, game over. My prediction, Wargaming will start the bids from 10,000 gold. And I personally don't think this tank is worth it. I just don't think so. That is my 5 cents. Let's see the score and let's see how we played overall. Okay, fellas, we are back. We have 1.9 thousand damage, 1.3 thousand assisting damage, 2.5 thousand damage bounced, but that is a bloody complicated tank to play with. By saying this is the frustration of you getting penetrated in your forehead is no bueno. Yes, you know your side is relatively good, hip hip hooray, but other than that, it's yikes. I don't like it. I do not appreciate this tank and I do not enjoy it. You saw 3 out of 4 games. I barely played for 2.3 thousand damage and 400 assisting damage. And keep this in mind. This tank is novelty at this point. I haven't had the greatest success. And once again, I haven't met lower tiers, but honestly speaking, it is not the tank I would be super excited myself about, and it's my honest opinion. One Trick Pony, look at this. Those are the games which I had. Such a horrible experience to play with. Ooh. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope I helped you out with this vehicle, right? Hopefully you figure it out. Maybe it's not really worth the gold, and maybe it's better to go to eat kebab. Who knows? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Skill is out for today. Peace.